Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Long Bangers Friday preview show. It's in association with Lee Spirits. I'm Matty.
And Colin's frozen. I'm
What
John.
timing? What
The
timing? I
show
wasn't
must
sure if
go
he
on.
was just sitting concentrated, but he has frozen, and he'll be back in a second. And how are you doing, John?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I've just the streams popped up on my because we're doing this live on YouTube. It's just popped up on my screen, and Colin's nowhere to be seen, so we'll have to admit him back into the call in a second if I can find out how to do that. It's never whether it was Gremlins. The first thing we've tried streaming is when we're also going to try and do a PowerPoint. Here's Colin back now. It was a PowerPoint screens that we can refer to. Hi, Colin. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
You back?
I'm back. That was incredible bit of timing.
Unreal, eh?
As soon as I got told it was recording, out I went.
Out you
Unbelievable.
went. Right, I'm going to try and get this this PowerPoint up so we can get our teams up and we can talk about it anyway. Right, so we're looking ahead to Hibs visit to Triantis. You see that okay now on your screens?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Right, so I'm hoping if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also see a nice graphic on your screen. So maybe with our three heads on the right hand side. Who knows? Could probably bring it up on my YouTube and have a look, but fuck it, I'm not going to do that. Right, Colin, your team is up first. And you can talk us through what you decided to do with it. But we'll get slicker with these, by the way. So next week when we do this for the derby, we'll know it works and it'll be fine. Right, Colin, this is your
Look at the
lineup.
mess of this. I spent ages lining these wee circles up, right? And it's fucking over the shop. That's annoying. That is
It
annoying.
maybe looks
Aye.
worse when it's maybe a resolution thing, Colin. On a small screen, it maybe looks okay. On a bigger screen, it's a wee
Aye,
bit,
because it's
a wee
done
bit
on the
off.
phone, eh? Yeah, so
The other two look
perhaps
fine.
it's
When I
worse.
get to John's and mine, they look fine.
You fucking done it then. That's what we've solved it. Right. I'm going for a wee change here.
Uh-huh.
And partly it's because I want to, and partly it's because I think he might, and partly it's because of what he's been, well, half and half between what's been said in the press this week. So I went with three at the back, right? So you had the article in the Observer yesterday talking about his three at the back, 3-5-2, the way to go. Iredale's been mentioned a bit in the press, and the only one for the press side of things that isn't there is Miller, who was apparently doing the press conference today. So that kind of fucks it. But I'm not putting Miller in my team, right? So I went with three at the back for that reason. With Iredale in, with Cadden and Abita still out wide, but getting up and down, which solves the Cadden problem with his low XG. And he's maybe finishing not being as good, but he can get up and down. He's got the energy to get up and down. We're missing Triantis, so you're then looking for a replacement in there. And I thought, well, Newell steps straight in, but I wanted to keep Hoylett in the team, so I'm kind of saying left centre mid sort of style stuff there for him, and getting the two strikers in, more attack minded, but also I think plenty of cover in defence there as well. So just a wee, that's all I'm thinking. Nothing fancy, just the basics.
It's quite an interesting lineup, though. I think you're probably a bit stronger down the left hand side than the right in an attacking sense, but then probably the reverse in a defensive sense.
Well, we don't know Iredale yet, right?
Yeah.
But you
can't have him playing that close to a beater.
No, he's not standing on his toes. Like, fucking hell. Like, Cadden's touching on the M there, I know, potato, but aye, it is frustrating me looking at that picture. But is it your 3-5-2 or? Aye, I'll go 3-5-2. I know.
Yes.
Some people doubt formations didn't exist.
15 tucks in a bit beside number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only one that's really out of
aye, the two
position.
strikers are kind of out of sync there as well. I wasn't meaning to have Gale just playing behind them, but
see with your previous comments about Potato, Colin, about doing simple defending.
Yeah.
Why is it you've put him out on the right hand side of back three rather than in the central position where Ahora is?
No, but I just shifted them over, mate. It was safe to the last time. So there was no real. I did think it would be Potato maybe going he'd kick it down the middle. The sort of Darren McGregor role there. I expect that's probably what it would be. Ahora out on the right of the three, if that's the case.
The reason I ask it, the reason that it's jumped out at me is because I think when we'd done this the first time, I'd put Bashiri, I think, in the middle rather than over on the right-hand side. So it felt like a wee mistake that I'd made. It's interesting to see that you've
I
gone for
know
a similar approach.
it was in my head that he'd be doing the middle, but you're right. I've never switched them. I just dragged them across when I was doing it, when I was trying to line them up.
I suppose when he's doing the defending bit though, the thing with a 3-5-2 is the three centre halves tuck in, don't they? They kind of cover the area of the box, and you'd have Cadden or Beta covering the right and the left hand side of it. So you can still do the headed kick it thing. Really, it doesn't. I don't think it really matters where he sits in that three to do it. Joe Newell coming back in there as well, Colin. So I suppose the alternatives would have been somebody like Dunlevitt coming with Triantis being unavailable. Was it really between Newell and Levitt, or did Levitt not even come into your consideration?
No, he didn't. He's the captain. He's coming back in. He was always coming back in somewhere. I don't think Levitt would be in the. I would in that kind of position there. I might have even been considering Mariah Welsh. Josh Campbell's been in the team, and I've been to him out it as well. That would probably be ahead of Levitt as well. So yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's have a look at your team, John. You're next up.
Oh, look at how neat that is.
That's lovely.
Aye.
That's lovely.
Well done. You've obviously put a bit of time and effort into that, John.
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3 minutes more than Colin.
I don't know, because it's a pretty basic team. I think I've put the time into considering how we might line up, whereas you've just lined them up.
But we have been guilty of overcoaching and overthinking formations in the past. So this is just like, this is my starting 11 and that's it.
So what's this, a 4-5-1, John? If we were to believe in the concept of formations for a moment.
I'm not going to get too hung up on the numbers, but when I was thinking about it and I was lining it up, I thought it's probably a 4-1-4-1. And the reason that I went for that is because I think maybe a similar reason to what Colin has said there about Joe Newell and Joe Newell coming back in the team. It's a conversation that we'd had recently after Quan and Triantis that had a fairly solid start to the season. But Triantis is suspended. So in comes Joe Newell. And I think Joe Newell could probably sit in front of the defence because I think he's demonstrated previously that he's capable of tucking in for fullbacks when required, when they're forward. But also, I think that he's not an attacking. I don't think he's an attacking player. I think he probably sits there quite nicely. He's able to take a pass. He's able to take a ball on the turn, and he makes himself available for the pass to alleviate pressure on some of his colleagues. But that also allows Quan, I think, to get a little bit further forward, because I think while we've seen him kind of anchoring the midfield with Triantis recently, you've also seen Triantis and Quan both getting forward. So if you're going to get Joe Newell back in the side, then it seems reasonable to push Quan a little bit further forward. And also, I've put Josh Campbell in there. I know he divides opinion, but I do think that we're going to need a runner in there. And then I think in your wide positions, Boyle, I think, is going to be back. I missed the press conference earlier, but I saw the summary afterwards which suggested that Boyle and you're both going to be in the squad. Right. Boyle over on the left-hand side, Kaharovic up front.
Okay. And Lewis Miller as well. So, Colin, you went with Cadden. We'll come to my selection as well. I think I picked Cadden too. But that was the thinking behind this was that I thought Miller probably would get rested after being away with Australia. He did the press today, John. Do you expect him to start?
I'll be honest, as I was saying to you guys earlier, I was completely ignorant, had completely forgot, despite an Australian relative messaging me to say that Lewis Miller had scored. I'd completely overlooked and completely forgot that he was on international duty. So it's entirely possible that he gets rested. I think, I don't know, like I'm divided about it. I think Miller's got his attributes going forward. I think he's definitely, I don't know, definitely is maybe a strong word. I think he's stronger athletically than Chris Cadden, but I think Chris Cadden's the stronger footballer. So I was kind of caught in two minds as to what David Gray might go with.
And I suppose the same question you about Mariah Welsh or Levitt. I mean, you've stuck with Josh Campbell there. There was no thought to bringing in either of those two.
I think if Joe Newell had continued to be injured, I might have gone with Mariah Welsh playing a bit deeper for for more legs there. I wouldn't have played him in a Josh Campbell position. And I think with Levitt, I think Newell's got, again, athleticism. I think he's got, this is going to sound really silly, but I think he's got a bit of a longer stride. I think he's able to make up more ground. And I think that's one of the weaknesses in Levitt's game, is when a player gets beyond him, he's just never been able to chase them down. And from what we've seen in a Hibs jersey, so that's my rationale for it.
Okay. Right, I had a go at picking a team as well. So probably like a wee bit of a blend between the two. Cardinite, Pateta, O'Hora, and Obita. So again, I didn't expect Miller to play after being away with the international team. So I thought if Boyle's back, then Cardinite and Boyle down the right, Hoylett and Obita down the left. I suppose the wild card that I put in here is Eli Yuan, sitting at the number 10 position. And really, my thinking there wasn't so much that Ellie would sit as the number 10, but it gives us the option having Hoylett, Yuan, and Boyle all playing across that sort of across that line, if you like. So Boyle can switch over to the left, no bother. Hoylett can go over to the right. Yuan can go wide. They can all drop into the middle. And I think it just gives us those sort of options that it becomes quite hard to defend against, because you'll have, particularly when you've got pace in those areas, Dundee United will look to pick up Kukovic, but what does the other central defender do then? Do they get drawn out to try and pick up Yuan? And then if he drifts wide, what does the central defender do there? I mean, you're relying on, or Dundee United are relying on their defenders being able to hand off to each other quite regularly on which player they're picking up. And that can be difficult over the course of a game. So I think that kind of gives us a bit of potency that we're maybe be missing in attack. I brought Newell back in. Again, I didn't really consider Mariah Welsh or Levitt for it. I think there are no bad options to come off the bench, probably for Quan and Newell as well. I think actually you might see Mariah Welsh and Levitt finish the game, and Quan and Newell start it. And I think the defence pretty much picks itself, other than that Miller-Cadden position.
I think so. I quite like a 4-2-3-1, right? But I think that I know you're all going down the attacking route there. Like we've got the attacking guys in. I think that leaves us light, exposed. I think that's what in that kind of formation there with that personnel anyway.
Yeah.
And that's where we've struggled before, and that's where we said Newell struggled in a 2, and all that, and we're basically just sticking all our attacking players in that one, and then we're leaving Newell exposed with Quan to try and cover the defence that we've also said we keep leaving them exposed. So that's all, and that's why in John's team, which isn't dissimilar to that, you've got Campbell in there that would probably do a bit more of that graft.
Yeah, I suppose I don't disagree with that. I think it definitely weakens us defensively.
Maybe a home game formation, against a team we're expected that we need to break down.
I suppose where I would counter that a wee bit is Dundee United won't be expected to sit in, because they're the home team and they're going to have to come at us a wee bit. Right away, that gives them something to worry about, because they can't then come at us as much, because if they commit men forward, we'll like that front four would pick loads of teams off, assuming they all play at their best.
Yeah.
So I think it sort of cancels out a bit of impetus that Dundee United would want to take. But I agree, if Dundee United got a foothold in the game and we're putting the squeeze on us, that's no team to dig us out a hole. That's a team to kind of counter attack and kind of get them on the break.
Is this a Hibs team that's designed to get us ahead and keep us ahead?
I think so. I think I like the idea of occupying the opposition, and having them giving them something to worry about, rather than us thinking, how do we stop them scoring against us? It's just shifting that narrative a wee bit to try and be a bit more offensive ourselves, offensive in the right way, not like insulting.
I liked your description. I like the positivity of it, because I remember, I cast my mind back to when Boyle, Doidge and Nisbet were sort of at the peak of their goal scoring, and they each of them represented different threats, and I do remember us talking about it at the time, and I think that's similar. Like, albeit you might argue that they're all similar players. Like, you've got pace in Martin Boyle. I think you maybe got finishing from Yuan, and you've got trickery from Hoylett. That's definitely 3 different ways occupying the opposition. That's before you start talking about Kaharovic.
But yeah, I can't really disagree with you, Colin. It does leave us tight. I mean, I think you're maybe then saying you don't get Cadden and Avita to bomb forward quite as much. You're maybe not seeing them hitting. Yeah, they're maybe not seeing them hit the byline. They maybe can come up and join the midfield, but don't get further forward than Boyle and Hoylett do. Right, let's take this off the screen and we'll get a look at the form guide of the two teams going into it. How do you see the game going, John? While I'm doing that, how do you see it panning out?
It's hard to say, because when we did our prediction a few weeks ago, I suggested that we might sneak a victory against Rangers, and we didn't. And I thought that we might go into the Motherwell game and get 3 points, and we didn't. And if I remember rightly, I'd suggested that this is a game that we might be reasonably happy coming away with a point from. But after reactions 2 weeks ago to the Motherwell defeat, I suppose it depends how confident they are going into it. I think one of the strengths I suggested that Dundee United might have is that almost unknown quantity in that first division promotion bounce that most teams seem to have. They're ahead of us in the league, so I'd still be reasonably happy coming away with a point.
What about you, Colin?
I think is it just their expectations have been dulled? Like, I would probably be happy with a point, but like this is the latest in the stretch of games that we want to. We've got a run here with no Rangers, Celtic, or even Aberdeen.
That's right.
So I think the article I saw during the week was the next 5 games are crucial. And this is one of these ones where we say that, and then we come into next week and go, next 4 games. Next 4 games are crucial. So it's like at some point we need to turn this round, and this is where I want to see it getting turned round on Saturday, tomorrow. Aye, it's a Saturday game.
Yeah, Saturday 3 o'clock.
That's nice for a wee change, eh? Aye, because they've got more points than us, but it's still minimal games played. I'm just looking at the results. So they've only lost to Rangers, eh? They've obviously started all right. They beat St Johnstone and Hearts. Everybody's beaten St Johnstone and Hearts. So, you know, they've not maybe had, like we're saying, Aberdeen have had an easy run. And I'm not taking any credit away from them because they've won other games. But Dundee United, they've also had a fairly straightforward run. So they've kind of, I bet if their fans were sitting down predicting their start of the season, that's maybe what they would have went with. 11 points for those 5-6 games. I'm just rambling on here. I think we need to start winning games. We need to go and beat them.
I mean, you're looking at they're definitely in better form than us. Last, like you said, Colin, they only had that defeat to Rangers, 2 draws, one with Ross County, one with Kilmarnock, and then it's been narrow wins though. I mean, they've not really kind of given anybody a pump in.
No.
I thought they were a wee bit unlucky against Rangers. It's only the only real game that I've seen them this season was I think Rangers beat them 1-0, didn't they? And I thought Dundee United were probably the better team second half in that game. They got their foot in the ball and played quite well. Rangers didn't really look up to too much, but they still got the points. But then I would say the same in our 1-0 defeat to Rangers, and we were away in that game. Like, I thought we were the better team in that game, and we're unlucky to lose it. So right, let's wrap up and score predictions. What do you reckon, John?
1 each. Aye, 1 each.
For a 1 each, are you? Who's scoring the Hibs goal?
Do I get to pick anyone that, even if it's not in the lineup?
No.
I'm going to go you.
Well, it could be a sub. Aye, he's coming off the bench then. Equaliser.
Yeah.
Is that what your prediction?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I don't like it. Would be good. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good if Hibs came from behind. But you wouldn't want Hibs to go.
Is that because we would have to go behind in the first place?
Aye. Whereas if Yuan was to score, or anyone was to score, and Hibs were to then concede, then you have all the usual kind of weaknesses or accusations of weakness thrown at the squad. And I'm also contemplating the game afterwards and how people might be feeling in each of those results. So I'm just going to say 1-1. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to say it's you, Anne.
Colin, what about you?
3-0 Dundee United. No, I'll go 2-1 Hibs.
2-1 Hibs, did you say?
Mhm.
And your scorers?
I'll take Hoylett and Kaharovic.
Jack C99 said, this looks like a good lineup. I'm not sure which one you were referring to there, Jack.
Be
We'll
mine.
just get into the comments just now.
It can't be the misaligned one.
Probably yours, Colin.
No, no way.
And Keith O'Flaherty said his lineup was Bursic, Obita, Ahora, Ekpateta, Cadden, then Hoylett, Rudy. Of course, we never mentioned Rudy at all. Kwon, Yuan, Gale, and Miko with Boyle and Joe on the bench, and that's on a 4-4-2. Thanks for that, Keith. Quite a good looking team there as well.
I thought about Rudy. I think I might have put him. I'm just double checking because I know how I've done two attempts at it. Did I have him in my first attempt? When I was farting about it, because that's 1, 2 seconds. Aye, I had him in my first attempt. I had him in behind Kaharovic in a 4-4-1-1 formation. So aye, he's on the fringes there, isn't he? But it just depends on how we line up. I think if he can.
Aye.
If he can fit him in.
I was sort of tossing a coin between Yuan and Rudy, and then actually what I thought about is like on the day, you would have like a fit and firing Yuan ahead of a fit and firing Rudy at this stage in their careers. But we know for always. But if Yuan gets his act together, then he's almost undroppable. So okay, right, I'm going to predict 2-0 Hibs. I'm going to go for a clean sheet. And I'm going to say Kukovic is going to get both the goals, and we're going to win.
Okay,
and we're going to be taking a wee bit of kind of confidence going into the derby next weekend.
He's due a goal at Tynecastle after he had one cruelly chalked off the last time.
Tannadice.
Aye. Right. We will be back then on Sunday with Long Bangers. After the game on Saturday, look out for our tweet, looking for talking points. Get involved with that. We will read out as many as we can when we record on Sunday night. Until